Welcome to the Broken Pencil Booking Company pro wrestling podcast and radio show infused with hip hop. I am Wood.
Made daily with organic, farm to table, localized, neuralized, sterilized, available on Amazon, shipped worldwide, not available on Sundays, but now available on thebeastradio.com. Broken Pencil Logic. You stay classy, internet. I'm Suave Burgundy.
I figured if Roman came back, I might as well make my return as well. Mr. Copyright Infringement himself, the Petty Messiah, and the Big Mang, and the Medium-Sized Mang have got a show for you.
The six-man tag team champions the world six-man tag team champions of the world, Craig, are back up in this bitch.
A lot of tag team championshippery.
It's been about 47 episodes since we heard from the Petty Messiah on the BPBC.
Ain't gotta be the elite. We the elite.
We the elite, yo. You did? Man, Petty Messiah, what's cracking?
COVID's
Nope.
cracking.
No true words.
For real.
Still out here.
Let's get the nonsense out the way.
This whole show's nonsense. We get the nonsense out the way. We might as well do the outro.
All right, Suave, go ahead and hit him.
Pencil pushers.
Let's get this out the way real quick so that way we can move on with positivity. Jacob Blake, black man shot in Wisconsin in the back 7 times by the police, causes the NBA, Major League Baseball, and the National Hockey League to say, fuck playing games, and because these games is over. And we're probably about to see the end of the NBA season. Sick of seeing us being shot, and still need to arrest the cops that shot Breonna Taylor. That said, this show is dedicated to us as we keep things moving forward, because we are here for you. Anybody want to add to that?
It's gonna go completely off the rails. I'm good. That pretty much sums it up.
That's why I kept it short. So yeah, for that very reason. So we got a long list of information to run through today, and don't want to be too uncomfortable, because there is going to be a bit of uncomfortability within this show. Well, we're going to try to take a comedic spin with that.
I mean, it's the new norm for us. Like, damn, why do we have to handle all the world's problems? Because we have a perspective on it the most.
Well, here's the problem. This is primarily a pro wrestling podcast that has a hip hop attitude and some music on occasion. And looking at this agenda, there's a couple of things on here that we didn't do. Well, not that we ever do anything, but things that had to be brought attention to as they happen, and now they become issues of bigger causes, with bigger repercussions on the back end. So we'll get to that here in a minute. At any rate, we had a very, very exciting week of pro wrestling, more exciting than we anticipated on. But the fact that there are things worth talking about is going to make this a very, very fun show. Where do we want to start this one?
I mean, just throw a dart out there. We'll see what catches fire first.
All right, let's go to Saturday. Saturday, we had, well, first off, let's talk about today's date. Today's date is Thursday, August 27th. Year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord.
I say year of our Lord.
Year of our Lord.
20 and 20. Last Saturday, the 22nd, we had NXT TakeOver 30, which is a very solid show. And at the same time, on network television, on cable television, we had AEW Dynamite, which was preempted due to NBA basketball from last Wednesday. The first time we've had wrestling on cable television on a Saturday night that didn't say New Japan or Impact in over 20 years. And it did not disappoint at all. Taking it to cable television first, we have a new TNT champion and Mr. Brody Lee, as he beat the living dog shit out of Cody Rhodes.
Dog walked.
Yeah,
but actually, it comes the light that there's a reason behind the dog walking.
Yeah, he's
so Yeah, Cody has a new television role, courtesy of longtime associate and friend Stephen Amell. So he'll be starring on the series Heels. Not really sure about the background on the show. Haven't done that research just yet, but apparently he'll be taking a hiatus to film that. And in that, the TNT Championship needed a new home. And building the program that we booked with Scorpio Sky would have taken a little bit too much time, so we just dog walked him by the Dark Order.
Yeah, there was carnage. It was carnage left on that screen, and I mean, just go find it. It's worth the watch. It's just like it kind of reminds you of Suplex City with no offense from Cody. Just no suplexes either. Just a beat down. It's a straight beat down. Meanwhile, over on the WWE Network, NXT TakeOver 30, which never disappoints TakeOver, that is. We had, in the pre-show, Breezango defeating Oni Lorcan, Danny Burch, and Legado del Fantasma for the number one contendership for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Which, if all things go like we think they're going to go, their champions are Imperium. And with NXT UK about to relaunch in a couple of weeks, chances are those belts aren't going back across the pond. We think Breezango's probably going to get them a tag team championship run.
Which that came to fruition last night.
Yes. Timothy Thatcher and Finn Balor went up in the singles match. Finn is in his bag, man. That's all I can really say about that match. It was a great way to start the show. Finn is we'll talk about him a little bit later on because we think he's got some good things on the horizon himself. Timothy Thatcher is going to be around for a minute too. I don't know what they plan on doing with him because the only rivalry that he had built in for instance coming in NXT was I was about to call him RVD, Matt Riddle, and I mean they're both the same person. Yeah. They're about 20 years difference, but they're the same person. But like now, like who do you put him up against? Do you put him up against someone like Bronson Reed? Like what's next for Timothy Thatcher?
So what I've seen is that Timothy Thatcher is he's going to be aiming at the North American title. So he had a little interaction with Damian Priest, and it seems as though they have plans for him to be in that title picture along with Bronson Reed.
Okay. And speaking of those guys, we have Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, Velvet, that guy, and
wow,
yep.
We're gonna change his name from TVD to TBD.
Wow,
call him to be determined. We're gonna figure out what the fuck going on with that
guy. And Damian Priest walks away. First of all, Bronson Reed's a fucking lunatic.
Well, yeah.
This dude did
his Bam Bam Bigelow attire on Saturday.
Right. Yeah, a full on splash off the ladder with Candice LeRae attached to his back.
And they got a still shot of that.
Shouldn't have been standing there.
They have a still shot of that, and it looks like probably one of the greatest still shots from wrestling ever.
I feel like if you're not careful, there's gonna be the cover art.
Yeah, I don't see why I shouldn't.
Whatever video game is to come, that's it. Just take the background out.
NXT needs their own video game, and Bronson Reed's gonna be on the cover.
Candice LeRae's hair was perfect too for that still shot. It's just up in the air, like just the wind took it. And so, like, if you take all the background out and just leave them up there with the ladder in the back, that's it. That's your cover right there.
Perfect angle, everything. It's just like that. That's a hell of a shot.
And the surprise of the night, as far as quality of match, Adam Cole, which wait, hold on, we got to do this the right way. Speaking of, that might be the last time we use that damn song.
Man, they never gonna stop doing that. That one, they gonna pay them for that one.
Man, Adam Cole, baby, defeats Pat McAfee. Suave, how would you rate this debut among debuts for first time wrestlers?
On the modern era, I got him sitting at third. Ronda Rousey being first because of the level of performance, who it was against, and where it was because it was WrestleMania. I actually have Dominic at SummerSlam versus Seth Rollins next. And then Pat McAfee third.
That is a stellar list. I can't think of anything better. Other notable debuts that will never make the list. Matter of fact, we can run through a quick mixtape real quick. Zeus. Big Show.
Look,
Karl Malone.
We're not going to disrespect Tiny Lister. And we're not gonna disrespect him. However, that was a movie that translated into one match, and
it was a couple. He had a match in WCW too.
Yeah, only one of them mattered though.
Right. Dennis Rodman, Kevin Green.
Hey. Rodman
actually got down with his get down.
Rodman got down.
Karl Malone.
Go watch that match.
Kevin Green wasn't trash either.
Man, slap yourselves. Both of y'all go watch both of their debut matches.
You slap yourself. You tried to call out the Worm when the Worm actually got out there and did his thing.
Y'all dropped some elbows. He did a leapfrog, some arm drags.
Y'all ain't gonna put him in.
Yeah, you can't get mad at that. That's quality.
Now you can hit the buzzer on Jay Leno.
There you go.
If you want to hit the buzzer,
you want to hit a buzzer on Seth Green.
Wow,
David Arquette.
Yeah.
Or what was Britney Spears' old dude?
Kevin Federline.
Yeah, hit that. Yeah, do that.
You know who needs a ding though? Snooki.
Snooki did hit it.
Snooki needed to be in the top 10 because she was also at WrestleMania, and it was a pretty decent match.
Snooki hit like a handspring elbow from across the ring. Like, she flexed. You got to hit the bell for her.
Yeah, I gave her a bell and applause, fam.
Snooki got out there, man. I can't get mad at Snooki. Snooki got out there. Who else got out there?
Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell did get out there.
His debut was lit.
Michael Piven. I'm probably saying his name wrong. Dude was on Entourage. He played Ari.
Michael Piven.
Piven jumped off the top rope in his premiere.
I didn't even remember.
Where was that? What was that on Raw?
I want to say SummerSlam. Even after he called SummerSlam Summerfest.
Does Jon Stewart count? Because he got involved.
Piven, my bad.
He got involved. Jeremy Piven. That's right.
Michael
Jon Stewart got involved, but that's like the same type of that's like the same type of involvement that like Pete Rose would have.
Nah, I'll tell you who else got out there. Mark Cuban got out there.
Did he?
Yes.
He got shoved. Yeah, I think. Was I there? I don't remember.
Might have been there.
I might have been there, but I know he got shoved on his tail feather.
You know who we always like? Who everybody as a ICW, as an online wrestling community, IWC online wrestling community, and as a whole shits on, but who actually got out there? David Arquette.
No.
Nah.
No.
David Arquette was a victim of circumstance. He didn't do anything. Watch his debut.
I'm not talking about when he won the championship. I'm talking about after, when he actually started taking it serious. David Arquette as a whole documentary.
You only get one chance to make a first impression. So we talking about debut.
You talking about the debut only?
Yeah. Okay. When you can't, your debut only. Yeah, when you show, did you show up and show out? Rodman did not. Karl Malone did okay. We got a pretty good list going. Stephen Amell. This is a decent mixtape. Is someone keeping count?
No.
No, I mean, it's documentation of what's going on.
You know what I'm saying? This is a podcast, so there's proof. All you gotta do is hit the rewind button and take score for yourself.
It's gonna make the job harder trying to post this later.
Nah, I mean, we're not gonna post the whole list. That's just gonna be a part of the cover art. Episode 81, ho.
I was gonna go the extra mile and comprise a list because we be doing shit and people be stealing, but you know.
Oh well, I will do your dirty work for you, Suave. This is how show prep happens while we're live on the air, by the way.
Gracias.
De nada. All right, so Adam Cole defeats Pat McAfee.
Baby.
And so Io Shirai defeats Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. Decent match. Nothing really write home about. I'm just sick of Raquel Gonzalez getting involved in shit. And then in the most unfortunate of matches, and which was a really damn good match, which should have been longer. Keith Lee, Big Tex, because bitch, Texas. Keith Lee loses the NXT Championship to Karrion Kross, who inevitably loses the championship himself, as he is forced to hold up the championship or vacate the title due to a separated shoulder in this match.
I saw the exact moment when it happened. It was not pretty. Wish him, speedy recovery. It's unfortunate, especially for someone who had been booked so strongly, and to basically become champion in less than 3 months.
Man, listen, check this out. The finisher came off it was a who was that? Was it Saito?
Yeah, Doomsday Suplex.
Yeah, Doomsday Suplex, Saito Suplex off the second rope, and he lands on the bad shoulder. This is way after the separation had happened.
Yeah, he's already separated and he's still doing Doomsday Suplexes. I think he did 2 of them after he separated his shoulder.
The referee raises the good arm. He holds the belt in his bad arm. His arm is just dangling. What does he do? He raises the bad arm with the belt in the hand. That dude's got balls of steel.
Straight adrenaline.
Balls of steel.
His character was like people on the internet, gravitated towards it because it's just a strongly booked character. It's designed to be a heel on TV. When he comes back, he's going to be full blown face, and he won't have to change a thing.
Yeah, this is the dream character I always talk about, where you come out and do nothing different, but people cheer for you. Like you should be hated.
The physical resolve that he showed, people are going to cheer for him. It's going to be wonderful.
I mean, it's Triple H after the quad injury.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's just that people appreciated Triple H at that point, because when he left, what did you really have besides Cena? You had a little bit of Orton, but Orton was like, teetering mid-card status at that point.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, as we fast forward to SummerSlam, which was the very next night, the card showed, it turned out to be pretty damn decent. This actually ended up being the very last broadcast for one Renee Young, who I'm sure going forward will be known as Renee Good, probably on TNT. Not that I'm speculating or anything, but we'll see how that turns out.
I mean, does she really have to change her name? Is that a WWE thing, or is like that her real?
No. Renee Young was her, or Renee is her real name. I think Young was a WWE name.
Right, because her last name is something completely different.
Yeah,
these are facts.
So yeah, I think.
And if she took Mox's last name and she goes to AEW, it's a good chance.
Renee Moxley? I like it.
I'm just saying, like if you keep an open mind on it, makes sense.
Very good point. I look at it as like on the cool. I think her next move might be bigger than AEW. Like she's very.
Oh, it is. It ain't got nothing to do with wrestling.
Her resume is entirely too full, and she's entirely too good at what she does to necessarily have to go the wrestling route. Well, ESPN is drowning right now. They need talent.
That's what I'm saying.
She's still gonna be on the running weekly show.
What running weekly show?
That's the thing. She's still going to be on WWE programming.
No,
that's the thing.
That show was being done. That show was done back in June.
Canceled.
Well, that's good. Then she going to AEW.
They canceled Backstage a couple of months ago, which also brings up the question, what is the relationship with CM Punk now? I know CM Punk was signed via Fox to do that show, but since that show's been canceled, is he just out there doing whatever, or does he still have a relationship?
I got a feeling that we'll be talking about him later on in this show.
Well,
all right. So as we fast
podcast and hip hop, so yeah. As CM Punk might come back up.
As we fast forward to SummerSlam, we have Apollo Crews versus MVP for U.S. Championship in the pre-show.
Sure, this is so much disrespect.
It's so much. It's not only the disrespect, especially after we just did this nasty ass title. It's a title tournament.
So much disrespect. This is that bullshit.
Like how many?
They don't even get the Thunderdome crowd. They get like the decorative background for SummerSlam. They don't get a crowd or anything.
How do we even get this like this match again? Like how many times does MVP get a chance to go for the U.S. Championship?
I mean, you had to go ahead and settle it and put Cruz over super strong. So he beats him on Raw. This was the rematch because the MVP claimed because of retribution and they're playing with the lights, he didn't get to focus like a professional would. So this was the end all to be all. This is why I felt like this match should have been a ladder match. It would have been in SummerSlam tradition. It would have been a definitive win for Apollo Crews in a situation that would have allowed him to showcase a lot of his athleticism. This was a regular match you put on a fucking pre-show.
Facts. And I don't even understand. I mean, this could have gone on WWE main event and it still came off the exact same way. And it was less than 10 minutes long. Just bullshit. Like, and honestly, well, we'll talk about the time length of matches here in a minute. Let's keep going. Asuka had double duty as she had the opportunity to take on Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship and later Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. As part of the storyline with Sasha and Bayley, finally ends up going first and ends up beating beating Asuka. And later on, Asuka ends up beating Sasha Banks. We'll come back to Asuka in a minute here because we do got some shit to talk about with her. Street Profits take on Andrade and Angel Garza, and they retain the tag team championships for Raw. Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville going at it. No DQ, loser leaves WWE. Sonya Deville supposedly gone. Wasn't this a hair match?
It was originally a hair match, but then due to Sonya Deville's personal issues and the attempted kidnapping and stalking, it changed into a loser leaves WWE, I guess, to give her some time off to handle some legal things. I would assume move. Yeah. And, just take care of some personal stuff, like give her some time off to give her a chance to gather herself, gather her thoughts, make whatever necessary moves she needs to make, handle the legal side of this and XYZ.
And Mandy was visibly shaken when talking about this match. So level of realism there. I hate to see it happen like that, but good story nonetheless with the ending. So we'll see Sonya Deville back. Who knows? Maybe she'll be part of Retribution in the future. Seth Rollins versus Dominic. Dominic, I am your father, Dominic. Man, Dominic Mysterio, this dude here, man.
Dominic!
Ricky Steamboat.
You're not going to stop me from being able to say that. I'm sorry. You're probably going to hear that 8 more times in the show.
Ricky Steamboat had to be instrumental in some of this man's in-ring training along with Rey Mysterio. Tons of Guerrero-isms in this. Dominic is, if there was ever a cool kid to be growing up, it was Dominic Mysterio in real life. He had a lot of people in his corner, and you could tell everybody that had a hand in everything that he did in that ring. And even though this was a street fight, this was it was a really good story that was told. But one thing that I got a feeling, and that's just me being wishful thinking, because having wishful thinking, because you know how WWE does it, they just like to shit on wishful thinkers. Dominic made mention that he didn't want Rey to get involved in the match. Rey got involved in the match. Rey got handcuffed in the match. And Seth gave Dominic the keys after the pinfall. Just handed him over. Oh, wait. Before we go too far into that. Suave, you always do a shoe check at the for every show. This has nothing to do with shoes. Let's talk about this ring gear, fam.
Dominic got out there. I'm really impressed with what he put together. Just a word to the wise, I would see about getting a detachable zipper for the hoodie. Just because there was a couple of times where the hood came up and then he wasn't supposed to throw the hood up.
But Seth though, wait, I'm sorry, hold on. this is one time where I'm actually kind of like salty about having to play this. It's just the fact we mentioned his name that we're playing this, but Seth, man.
Nah, Kung Fu Panda. Hey, we got to be fair here. We have to show how our integrity is at the highest of high levels. So when we say stuff, it's not just because we don't like someone. It's because there's merit behind it. Seth got down. Like, his ring made us ask the question on all our social platforms. Tell them where they can find us real quick.
BrokenPencilBC@gmail.com. ShowBrokenPencilBC.com. @BrokenPencilBC on everything.
Everything.
And while we're at it, let me hit them with the hashtags. Broken Pencil Logic, mark my words. You can't write this. Fuck Life Shorty, fuck the casual fan, and with the shit. Those are your hashtags, fans. But yeah,
so
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, Kung Fu Panda got out there. He went ahead and dipped into his bag of tricks all the way back to 1997 with his ring gear. Halloween Havoc 1997 at that. And wore similar ring gear, same color, same design and makeup that Ray wore when he wrestled Eddie Guerrero in WCW in their classic at Halloween Havoc 1997.
Complete with Rey Mysterio question marks.
Boom, boom, boom,
you definitely have to be an asshole to do that.
Now, you do have to be some sort of wrestling genius to draw from that much history. So I will give him his credit. Typically, when we speak about Kung Fu Panda on this show, it's because he's opened his mouth and said something that, is either tone deaf or just doesn't apply to, the bigger picture. This was a stroke of wrestling genius.
And he said nothing, but his outfit said everything.
Not a word. He didn't say.
So he got on social media and was like, "Does this look familiar?"
we don't follow him. I don't follow him.
I don't either. But
on the WWE Instagram,
I certainly don't follow them either.
You got to.
No, they don't. They follow. They follow us.
Content that makes sense.
Hey, no,
you don't get to see on TV.
They follow us.
The show account will follow them, and then they retweet a lot of stuff that's going on live. But yeah, their Twitter, that ain't really that. I don't do that so much. But Instagram, yeah, sure.
Man, so as we go back to this Asuka situation, Asuka versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship, in which Asuka wins. But this match was sponsored by Cup of Noodles Stir Fry.
Bruh.
Let me get this right. A Japanese competitor in the ring has a match of all these matches on this card sponsored by Cup of Noodles Stir Fry.
So Tozawa's running around with a group of ninjas. Asuka is out here dressed like a life-size cup of noodles.
Post-match with the belt.
Her match is sponsored by Stir Fry Cup of Noodles. Like, you really just want to undo all of the equity you possibly could have earned with the Color Wheel of Champions in one felt swoop. One marketing decision, which I completely understand. It's a sponsorship, and if Asuka's wearing the suit, then this is something that everybody has off on and agreed. So I can only be so annoyed about it. It's just, it is what it is. So everybody's getting a check. Don't know necessarily how much that check is, but for her to do that, I would assume that check has to be pretty healthy.
That bag has got to be healthy. Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton.
You never saw it coming.
You never saw it coming. I
don't know how mad I am about this or how happy I am about this.
My son is genuinely disappointed. Danger 2, easily the biggest fan of Randy Orton there is on this planet, watches this match and texts me at 8 o'clock in the morning and says, "A roll up? Really?"
Fruit by the foot. Badmonte.
Man, I don't. It was a good match, but we never saw that coming at all. We just knew this was earmarked for number 14. Randy was just like, nah, player. And you could tell he was thoroughly disgusted. But
I mean, wouldn't you be?
Well, we'll come back to Randy here in a second because Randy went ape shit on Raw. Randy was full blown Randy Orton on Raw.
In true
look on his
WWE
face
fashion.
after this match made me realize Randy Orton probably is one of the GOATs.
Wow. That's
I wasn't gonna give it to him. I just felt like he had just been there for a long time. Some people are great, and you know they're great because they're great. Like you see it. Some people you can't name. Some people you can. Some people you don't remember. Randy Orton has just been there consistently for a couple, damn near 20 years. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're great because you can keep a job. It just means that you got a job.
And he's
Brooklyn Brawler was employed for I don't know how long.
He's only been suspended. He's never been fired. He's been injured a couple times, but shit comes with the territory. I mean, only places ever called home has been OVW and WWE, and OVW at the time was a WWE property.
There you go.
So
Factual.
Yeah, go talk. Did we have a go talk on Randy yet or no?
No, he's just got back to a point where we all want to say something positive about him.
Right.
This is true.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
he just recently got back into those good graces. But yeah,
I'd have jumped him if this was like a year and a half ago.
in true WWE fashion, they react a day late and a dollar short. Why couldn't we get these head kicks right after the match? And then, I mean, what the fuck, bro? All we have is time.
There was an article somewhere online. I haven't read it yet, but I came across my one of my searches of how Randy Orton, quote unquote, got the punt unbanned.
Yeah, I did read that. That's a pretty cool story. It just shows how much he's grown as a performer. Basically, the article is about him becoming safer because back when the punt was a thing, he actually gave Vince a concussion when he kicked him.
Damn.
Yeah, he concussed Vince.
Vince probably told him to lean into his ass though.
I mean, I'm sure Vince didn't have a problem with it. It's just the fact that you concussed an elderly man by kicking him in the head. That's it's kind of people frown on that.
Hold on, fam. There ain't no damn elderly man. That's Heihachi Mishima from fucking Tekken. We just watched Vince this same week dive off of a 10-foot drop just to show somebody how it's done.
But he did that under his own volition.
Yeah.
It's another thing when like you jump and you land. It's another thing like I'm gonna stay here and trust someone to kick me in the temple.
I don't see how anybody trusted anybody to kick them in the temple. I still don't see how the curb stomp is a safe move to take. Not give, take. You know, anything with the foot to the face or the foot to the dome piece, nah.
Yeah, I mean,
the super kick has always wondered me. Like, are you kicking me on the side of my head, but you slapping your thigh?
Mainly because you're breaking your own fall.
See, there you go. You know what I mean? Like, but what if you don't break your fall, fam? You gonna step on me,
probably shouldn't be working there.
I mean, accidents do happen, but all it takes is that one. Like, let somebody pull their head up and then lose their hand, like their hand placement, and slip.
Yo,
what's the old DMX song? Slipping, falling,
can't get up. They gonna play that shit because you're gonna die in the ring. All these years, we were talking about Rey Mysterio earlier, and we got to get back to the point, I know. But I saw something, I was going back and looking at like the week's worth of wrestling. I've never known that Rey Mysterio protects people the way he does when he does that springboard Bronco Buster.
He has to.
You can't just leap.
But I never knew how he did it. Like because you never see the magician do the trick. But what happened is they finally got a camera angle of it. He literally is cupping the back of their head. So you never hit the ground. You hit the back. You hit his hand. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You can't just leap and then put your nuts in somebody's face, bro.
And then on top,
I mean, here's what I thought. I thought people were just taking a bump. You take a bump, you put your head up, and you hit it on your back. And it's an easy bump to take. But at the same token, I never knew he was doing it. You said what?
Sounds like cocaine use.
It does sound like cocaine use. I have my theory on who's doing cocaine. Anyway.
Cocaine.
Cocaine. There you go.
Roxo, the rock and roll clown, and I love cocaine.
Okay. The thing about
watching cocaine.
Now, when you think about taking those moves, so Orton being able to do that punch now, it must mean he has really given himself over to protecting people, man.
Well, no, I mean, he's been doing it, because think about this. What's the next thing that happens after he does that top rope Bronco Buster to the ground? What's the very next thing that happens?
Who, Ray?
Yeah.
Normally, he'll jump on the top rope. He'll top rope.
No, he'll land on his feet and run to the ropes.
Yeah. I mean, at the same token.
So it's like a fluid motion. Like if your hand is already protecting somebody, then you have a firm plant on the ground. You can use that to launch yourself up. And if you've been doing this for as long as he has been, he can use the back of his hand to launch himself up. The back of his hand becomes the front of his hand. Like there's no difference. They're synonymous at that point. So he's just he's just that damn good, man. Like not everybody can do everything. That's why people have their own movesets, because you know what's in your wheelhouse. You never see Big Show do a moonsault off the top rope because they in his fucking wheelhouse. We saw a moonsault off the top rope.
Big Show has done a moonsault.
I don't believe that.
I'm going to say that right there.
No.
I've seen him.
WCW power plant. I'm not saying lately.
No, we're talking about in the ring, fam. Not like in a match. Not in training.
We talking about practice. We talking about practice.
Yeah. Right. We can't say Big Show can't do a moonsault, because at one point in time, Big Show could do. If Keith Lee big ass can get up there and do a plancha, Big Show can do a moonsault.
Keith Lee has a much lower center of gravity than the Big Show does.
There's a lot more to rotate over when you're. No, I mean dead ass. He's 7'4". Like it's a lot more to get up in the air and rotate and then
safely.
land properly. It's entirely too. It's too much.
Yeah,
like you have to.
I was always impressed when Big Show would start mat wrestling people.
That's WrestleMania main event shit.
Right. I know who didn't make it.
Brock Lesnar.
That part.
I'm do a shooting star press in OVW. Do it tonight, fam. Okay.
Yeah, that was just a poor decision.
Yeah.
That was just.
God damn. Rough. Nah, when your boy hyping you up across the ring, and he pushing you to another level, and you think to yourself, I can make this. But you literally are 3/4 across the ring. Like that boy glazed himself to the point where like Kurt Angle had to carry him through the rest of that match. And I will never.
There wasn't much left.
Yeah.
Hey man, just put your arm across me, dog. They gonna count to 3. We gonna get you out of here, dog. We gonna get you.
That's that bullshit. You shouldn't have jumped in the hole.
There you go. Finally, last match of the night, SummerSlam. We got The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman for a Falls Count Anywhere match for the WWE Championship. Braun Strowman turned himself into Bronny Gargano, cut the ring up, pulled the canvas back and exposed the wood, and took not one but 2 Sister Abigails for the 1, 2, 3. So we have a new Universal Champion. After Fiend got dog walked, by the way, the entire match. Out comes Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns returns with glimpses of heel beating the dog shit out of Braun Strowman with a chair, killing Fiend with a couple of spears, and talking cash money shit for the 99 and 2000.
And the 2000.
Not to mention, he came out with a brand new grill. There's a whole lot of porcelain in this man's mouth.
I mean, self-improvement, is this a bad thing now?
It is not a bad thing, but it was made to think that it is a bad thing.
All right, we're all childish as a wrestling community. All of us. Every last one of us.
As Randy Orton goes to social media with a picture of Brian Griffin when Brian got his veneers. And says, "Good to see the
funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Good to see the big dog." Well, they went to a back and forth war.
Hey, look, I can't.
You're thinking there?
I'm not sure what happened.
I don't know what happened.
There you go. There you said one word and stopped.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Still gone.
All right. Roman Reigns decides to clap back at Randy Orton, saying something along the lines of, if I were you, I'd talk about me too, since no one's talking about you. To which Randy replied with a side-by-side picture of Roman Reigns and a horse.
And a horse.
Look, this is a classic case of somebody being jealous because they didn't get veneers first.
You wish you had these two, don't you?
Hey, we all know Randy Orton got all his baby teeth from the time he was 6 to right now. It's not a joke. Randy Orton almost looks snaggletooth every time you see him. That's why he talk with his top lip over his front, the top half of his mouth.
Jesus.
No, I can do this. That's how he talks now. He talk like Triple H used to talk. He talk like he got the Bobby Brown jaw.
Every little step I take,
I said it.
You will be there. Every little step I take.
Who's dancing? Who's dancing right now? Yeah, man. So
it's rough out here. It's rough out here in these streets.
So that's just Saturday and Sunday. We fast forward to Monday. The word is Keith Lee is making his Raw debut. As the day progressed, we figured out it was going to be on Raw Underground. But then apparently, Vincent Kennedy McMahon went on a fucking warpath. And according to all internet writings everywhere, he tore up the script or tore up the production and creative and did everything himself from scratch 20 minutes prior to showtime.
It felt like it.
Yeah, well, it was evident.
It felt like it. Was this supposed to happen? Like this is
another situation where I feel like I have to be fair. There were good things on the show, and there were horrible things on the show. Randy going ape shit and kicking Drew 3 times in a night. That's a stroke of genius.
How do you kick one person 3 times in one night and build a program with somebody else for a pay-per-view that's happening this Sunday?
So that multitasking made it a stroke of genius.
You saw Randy Orton 9 times on Raw with music intro.
So Randy is definitely figured in as we go forward, and now
it was Randy Night Raw. That's what hit
the bell. Hit the bell for that man right now. Celebrate his genius right now. Hit that bell.
You got to bask in my greatness.
And we can't bask in Keith Lee's glory anymore because his music's changed. So then there's the other side of the flip. You go from a stroke of genius.
I've never wanted to hear somebody rap so much as I wanted to hear Keith Lee rap when his music hit.
The internet is in an uproar over this too.
I never.
What the fuck is going on?
No, let me be very clear. I never want to hear Keith Lee rap after the way he cut that promo on Monday. Keith Lee, they say that people in the South typically talk a little bit slower. Keith Lee enunciates of it like that of a Shakespearean laureate.
Sam, you're not gonna shit on what you're talking
about. No.
I'm not gonna let you take jabs at him either.
No, I'm not taking jabs. I'm not taking the shit on him. I'm merely stating the obvious. This man enunciates as if the person across from him does not understand English.
I love it. He speaks like Damian Sandow. It's the funniest shit ever.
He's an incredible Hulk. He's banner to Hulk.
He is. He's when they merged in Infinity War.
Here's the thing. If they ever figure that out, because we've had this conversation about how they're late on, concepts or whatever. If they ever figure out he's Hulk from the Avengers, he's going to be the biggest star they've had in a long time because they're going to know how to present him. I don't think anyone's figured that out internally yet.
They keep listening to this show like they have been. They'll figure it out by next week. Guaranteed.
No, but they'll figure it out now because we have this show.
And I'm going to want to check.
Run the check. He needs to have green and black on, or green and purple in his ring attire from here on out.
Change his colors, yeah. See if you can't. Because here's the thing.
Shirt that kind of looks like him looking like the Hulk.
Okay, good try, Terry. You want to give back to our community? You have licensing over the name Hulk. Lend that out to Keith Lee.
Yeah, I don't even know how they would flip Keith Lee into being Hulk Lee. I don't want Hulk Lee. I don't want that.
You're right.
The Incredible Keith Lee.
I like that.
I do like that.
I like that.
I rock with that. The
Especially
incredible Keith Lee.
especially since we don't have the Limitless music anymore. And I'll be the guy to say it. I didn't really I didn't care for that music to begin with. It wasn't all that jamming to me.
It grew on me because it was attached to him whenever he showed up.
No, let's be clear. Most NXT music is best in NXT because
Hold on. I'm not gonna let you do that to Walter.
Yeah, I mean, you got Bobby Roode, you got Walter, you got
you gonna say that about the UE?
Shinsuke Nakamura, you got the Undisputed Era.
No. This is what I'm saying. Their music is more. It resonates more in NXT than it would on the main roster. Easily, we can agree.
I just named you four that were like absolute. They're just universal.
Well, no, I agree. I mean, because we can agree that this is easily the greatest one that they've done in the last 10 years.
Factual.
So
True.
So that said, but like even Shinsuke's his original.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We named him off: Shinsuke, Bobby Roode, the Undisputed Era, and
Walter.
Yeah, Walter.
So, but like everybody, think about everybody else though. Like those are anomalies. Now, because the reason we're bringing up the music is we don't get those luxuries anymore. We don't know to what extent we're not going to get those luxuries. But CFOs is out the same way Jim Johnston was in the 80s and 90s with music. Jim Johnston transitioned over to producing for CFOs or overseeing CFOs as they did all of the hot shit for the top tier talent and all of the the catalog of music for WWE entrance themes.
Oh, Finn Balor is another one.
Yeah. All these great ones gone.
Right.
So we saw that evident with Keith Lee. We don't know what's next. There was somebody else that had new music last night that I heard on.
Seth Rollins, his new music is a part of that whole shift.
Seth Rollins
is no longer under contract with WWE. All of those themes, because there's like a 50-50 split, a lot of those themes are going to go away because apparently a 50-50 split on NXT TV is much different than a 50-50 split from Raw and SmackDown.
Which is crazy because it's the same TV.
It is the same TV, but not the same. Maybe not the same TV deal. It's certainly not. Certainly not Fox money.
Well, I was about to say. Well, the USA deal was 2.06 billion over 5 years, and but it might have been. They
don't want to split that.
Well, I think it was split between Raw and NXT. I think it was for WWE programming as a whole because I don't think NXT has a different deal. I think they have part of that same USA deal. Which means
that's why they didn't get another TV deal. That was their separate deal.
So it has to be. There has to be at some point where adding NXT to USA became, a better financial move for WWE. Simply because you could have just left it on the network.
Well, no, it's definitely a better financial move because now WWE can sell advertising. Remember, we've had this conversation before, where you have programming in two different ways. Either the network gives you the time slot, and they sell the advertising for you and make money on their end, or you buy the time slot from them and you sell advertising for yourself. In this case,
in WWE, they did the latter.
No, if it's a $2+ billion deal for two different programs, and that $2 billion is split between those two programs, obviously the network is paying them. WWE doesn't have to sell shit.
There you go. And I think that's where the restructuring came from. But for somebody to give you 2.6, you literally got to make that deal sweet as shit for them.
So apparently CFOs were probably in line to get a much bigger slice of the pie, and they didn't want to cut that check. So now we're going to see a new musical group take over those responsibilities. You'll start to hear new themes. I kind of liken Keith Lee's situation to Samoa Joe, because you remember Samoa Joe had like 3 versions of music before he actually settled on the one that he has now.
Right.
Uh-huh.
The first 2 to me were garbage. They didn't fit. Then we got the one that we have now.
I don't like the one that he has now.
I like it better than the other ones. And then the crowd kind of adopted it, started chanting Joe with it, so it started making more sense.
It always sounded like it wasn't finished.
No, it was the very first one was like a fucking I don't know if you remember Tim Dog Step to Me. It was the drums from Tim Dog Step to Me muted down, so all you heard was just bass. And then this new shit sounds like some urban version of King Kong.
See,
I feel like Samoa Joe should come out to and y'all might not remember it, but y'all remember the Gangsta Grillz album?
Yes.
Yep.
The real Gangsta Grillz, like the actual album,
Canon.
No, I'm with you.
So the Lil Jon intro for the Gangsta Grillz album is what Samoa Joe should come to the ring off of.
Hold on, let me bring that up right now.
Because it's just that it's one of the without Lil Jon screaming, y'all know who the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying?
But on the cool, this brings us back to a conversation we had a long time ago about being able to license, known hip hop music or just known music, period, licensing it for whatever period and assigning it to talent. Right now, with as much theme putting behind Keith Lee, why would you not try to license something like
oh, definitely.
You could do like Kendrick Lamar's Humble.
Yeah, you know what? That would actually be kind of cool if he came out to Humble. But then you run into a situation where and resident pencil pusher, New Jack, you run into that whole situation where you kind of want to hear that song play through their entire match.
Hold that thought.
Hold the fuck up.
There you go.
Wait a motherfucking minute. Can't start this shit without me. Can't start this.
Hell, he's from wherever the hell he's from. Weighing it is probably 318 pounds.
Start this thing up.
Come on, Joe!
Wait, y'all niggas ain't there. Shit
If Samoa Joe came to the ring for this, I would believe he was going to kill everybody in the arena.
I'm thinking Keith Lee should have came to the ring to this.
That too.
You know whose theme song this sounds like? Moose.
Yeah, it does sound like Moose's theme song. Somebody got to come to the ring to this.
In which case, there's like 4,000 producers online with trap beats that sound just like this.
Man, I do you one better.
For less than 500.
Where does NXT run out of?
Florida.
Full Sail specifically. Full Sail is a rest haven for creatives. All you gotta do is knock on 3 or 4 doors and figure, hey, who make beats?
Hey, man.
Fuck with me for a minute.
That's probably why they cut ties with CFOs, because they found somebody in-house at Full Sail.
Late pass. They should have did that shit 4 years ago.
Hey man, who make beats? Doc, can you imagine who's the head of music now? Is it still Jim Johnson?
I think he still has a hand in it, but by and large, CFOs was running shit. Basically, they would do songs and turn them shits in.
And they no longer doing that, so we got to find out who the replacement is.
If you got whoever, man, some old white dude coming to your door going, hey man, you make beats? You want a job?
bring him a bag of joints and an MPC and watch the magic.
How much you want? What you mean? How much I want? Look, just let me in the building. you make beats.
I mean,
I want to meet wrestlers. I want to take pictures and have carte blanche to post everything on my social media, and at least give me about a G every week.
He completely shot himself in the foot. Like, do you know who you negotiating with?
Right. Hey, we'll give you.
I just want my weed budget paid, man.
We'll give you a big bag of weed at the beginning of every 3 months.
It's like we'll give you the money and you can buy your own weed. We won't buy you the weed.
How does $3,000 every quarter sound for you?
Yeah, we'll introduce you to one of our doctors and they'll write you a prescription for medicinal.
We'll just call him Dr. Green Thumb.
There you go.
There you go.
But yeah,
but I mean, it's a perfect situation. I don't understand why this hasn't happened before. I think Wood just said it. Like, this should have happened 4 years ago.
Yeah, I mean that was the whole premise. Like they mentioned that like when they built that soundstage for the matches or whatever at Full Sail. One of the reasons why they did it at Full Sail is because you have untapped potential when it comes to TV and video production, audio production, music, stage hands, like you name it, anything related to the fields of entertainment, you can find somebody there at Full Sail. Even animation and graphics, you can find those people right there at Full Sail. There's absolutely no reason for up until this point that they haven't tapped into that talent pool, aka the student body, to come and fill some voids in the name of internships.
I mean, they certainly have, but contracts have start dates and end dates. So you got to get your money's worth out of the contract that you're in. But of course, plan B was always plan B.
There's always a plan B.
Yep. Cue the Seth turn.
All right, so
but we got to get Keith Lee better music.
Well, speaking of Keith Lee, let's run down the card for Payback this Saturday. So far, and I don't know if it's going to be any deeper than that. Of course, we still got SmackDown on Friday, so you literally going to have one day to build matches for a card. Sasha and Bayley versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for the Raw Tag Team, or for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Apollo Crews versus Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title. Fiend versus Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman in a triple threat no holds barred match for the WWE Universal Championship, and Keith Lee versus Randy Orton. This the triple threat.
We're gonna hit this miniature. You know who ain't gonna win?
Oh shit! I forgot Petty's in this motherfucker.
Hey.
You know who ain't gonna win. You know who ain't gonna win. You know who ain't gonna win. Let's say that shit again. I know who ain't gonna win. You know who ain't gonna win. You know who ain't gonna win. We say that shit again.
I said I won. 1, 2, 3. Get your ass out. I won.
1, 2, 3. Get the fuck on. 1, 2, 3.
Get your ass out. I won.
1, 2, 3. Get the fuck on.
Hey.
Who's this sponsored by?
Hey.
This segment is sponsored by TheBeastRadio.com, the dopest hip-hop station on the internet, where you can actually hear the Broken Missile Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast and radio show infused with hip-hop every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Saturdays, I believe we said at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
That is correct.
Ding, ding. Circle gets the square. Johnny, tell him what he's won.
Tap in a little bit.
Petty Messiah has returned for another edition of You Know Who Ain't Gonna Win, the segment that he made famous, ladies and gentlemen. He
3 years ago.
He hates this shit, but we love it because it works.
Ajax works too, but people don't really like it.
We use Comet, fam. All right, so Bayley and Sasha Banks, your champions, versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Petty Messiah, please tell the folks who ain't gonna win.
Bayley and Sasha Banks.
Yeah, they out of here, fam.
Yeah.
Further in story.
We need to get this feud started, and y'all can't have the tag team championships. Plus, my baby mama and her bodyguard got to win and beat the crap out of people.
Why have one singles match when we can have two?
There you go.
So
we can't keep having her hurt people, and since she ain't seem to hurt people quietly,
so
let's just put it in a tag team.
Quick question for Suave though: is this one of the things that came out bad from Raw? Because this show started off as a Nia beating Shayna Baszler's ass, and then all of a sudden they become friends.
This is like middle of the road. I think they expected them for their propensity to throw hands to lead to them coming together. It was awkward. It didn't make.
There was no sense.
It didn't congeal.
Yeah, there was no sense at all out of it. All right, U.S. Championship match. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm saying, but I get what this is. This is the old, two partners that can't stand each other. They'll only be tag champs for maybe 2-3 weeks.
I mean, hell, we had it with Miz and Shawn Michaels. We had it with, Shawn Michaels and John Cena. We had it with Shawn Michaels and Miz and John Cena as well.
Right.
Like
Steve
Michaels Austin,
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Actually, mess around. We could get a 2-woman power trip out of it.
You think they're smart enough to do that, though?
No.
I don't think they're smart enough to it, but now that they're listening to this show, they might. A 2-woman power trip with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, in which first they beat up everybody for the tag team belts, then begin to respect and like each other, and turn on Asuka and whoever's holding the Sasha Bayley belt.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I'm looking at it from the perspective, if they take too many ideas from this show, that makes them liable.
I mean, they can't prove that they took it from here. We know they did because we see you.
Nah, when
You're
you
looking
start,
ass.
you book too many of these ideas from here, and they have too many of the same ear markings. I feel like, yeah.
I need my check. I just look. You can have Suave. Let them know how they can get it
For a nominal fee, you too can get some of this broken pencil knowledge. We will slice some off and put it on your plate.
On your plate. On your plate.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, it's one phone call. It could be, we could do it via Zoom, via Skype. We could do FaceTime.
I'll shake your hands with gloves on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, however you want to contact us, like, you have all the email addresses, you have the social accounts, you obviously are listening to the show. Let's sit down and talk turkey.
Just back up the Brinks truck, man. That's all you got to do. Back up
all
the Brinks
you got to
truck.
do.
We're humble
That's
people,
it,
but we deserve our share. For the U.S. championship.
Nah, fuck that humble shit. Royce the 5'9" told me being humble ain't gonna get you out your grave.
Wow. I agree with this man.
That Royce that Detroit is spitting.
You feel
when
me?
we look at how they can plan this out, I honestly see Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax as one of them situations where you play like a WWE 2K and you decide to just randomly throw a team together and it works. That can work.
I mean, it's quite possible. I'm not going to deny it that it could work. I'm just thinking they might not. I feel like this might be a short-term thing where they're combustible elements. So who's going to be the team that comes along and takes the tag titles after that? Are we going to recrown the Iconics? Or is it going to be Riot Squad?
That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, you gotta think a few steps ahead. It's like, okay, are we going to put the belts in some fluke, or we're gonna put the belts on the Iconics, and then that's when they start feuding with the Riot Squad, and that's how eventually we get the Riot Squad as tag champ.
Yep,
Which you eventually turn.
You said what?
So which will eventually turn into a feud because all tag teams turn into feuds.
What? Well, I don't. As if they become more popular with the belts, then the Iconics gonna end up boxing. But the Riot Squad already had their miniature breakdown and meltdown, so like you don't want to see that again. It's not like the New Day broke up. So when we look at tag team championship gold, New Day is a barometer by which you can keep people together without them having to fight each other.
For the time being, because I got a feeling they're about to fuck that up too.
Well, everybody hurt. The best thing that could have happened to them is people all got hurt in different aspects. So all three of them are not on TV at the same time and will not be for the foreseeable future.
Can you imagine how bad the timing is for Kairi Sane to retire and go back to Japan? Like, her and Asuka would have been tag champs.
Her and Asuka would have been tag champs. But at some point, her and Asuka would have had to box.
I mean, it is what it is.
It comes with the territory.
Yeah. And you know at some point, like, you and your tag team partner either going to have to box or y'all going to have to really, really support each other's solo reign. So one of y'all is either going to have to go to a different brand now and get another belt, or somebody going to be the IC champ, or somebody going to be the U.S. champ. Which brings us to
the U.S. Championship. So we have Apollo Crews, the champion, versus Bobby Lashley. Petty Messiah, who ain't going to win?
Bobby Lashley.
I'm kind of on the fence about that one. I'm going to give you the ding, but I really think that there's going to be some chicanery involved in that belt's coming off of Apollo. A matter of fact, look, hold on. I'm going to tell you what it is. We've been teasing this for a while here now. I think they're going to go ahead and pull the trigger. Cedric Alexander's about to join the Hurt Business. They need a small guy.
After being choked out on Raw Underground?
Yep.
Huh.
Hey, you going to learn one way or the other by choice or by force.
Get down or lay down? I don't know why.
Get down or lay down.
I have no idea. As many black people as are involved in the Hurt Business, not one of y'all thought get down or lay down would be the ideal statement.
No, because that was.
Wait, how many do you have in creative though?
Well, no.
Somebody back there black.
Well, no.
Keep people gonna get these hands for the last 3 years.
Hold on. Chris Park is back there in creative, right? And he was also backstage in TNA when the Beatdown Clan was there. That was their thing, and Beatdown Clan was get down or lay down.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. I stand corrected. Then that's why they don't do it.
No, here's the thing. I don't know if I accept that. I'm not totally certain if I accept that.
Okay. Let me help it. Let me help you accept it a little bit more. It's true. It's damn true. It's real. It's damn real.
Okay, I mean, that's jumping from WWE down to TNA, not from TNA up to WWE. WWE doesn't care who they steal from.
They didn't steal the beatdown clan. They sold. They
did. They just renamed them.
I don't. Honestly, I prefer the beat. The Hurt Business is cool. It's marketable. You can put it in gold lettering on a black shirt.
The BDC sound like a gang.
What they should have done is call it the Hurt Corporation, and they could have been THC.
RBD's not in it though, fam.
Just set me up with a direct deposit, and I can work from home.
I'm saying.
Why are we making this more difficult than it needs to be?
Some of this stuff you can tell when you got people sleep behind the wheel, and they just like, oh, that's a good idea. Whatever you guys come up with is fine.
I just like how weak-minded must you be to sit there and like come up with some shit that makes Vince come and rip up your whole shit and then shit on your shit and actually come out with one night that's better. And us as fans, we don't want Vince's shit to be better. But this 75-year-old genetic jackhammer comes up, rips up your shit, and then comes with his new shit on the fly and does better than you and looks at everybody and says, I told you I still got this shit. Fam, the sun shines on the dog's ass once a day.
Like, that's how you do
that's cool. That's cool and all. But here's the thing. One thing that we know about Vincent Kennedy McMahon is that he respects confidence. So me personally, if I'm going to have that conversation, I got to have that conversation with him like, look, you know a lot. There's one particular section of a demographic that you may not be as well versed with. I happen to come from there. So if we work together on this, I can bring that all together for us. You have the final say, but if you give me a little bit more of the cement to mix to make this foundation, I'm pretty sure we can turn the corner on this.
And I'm coming with you.
That's all I'm saying.
If they don't give you the pencil, Duke, I'm coming in there with you. I don't give a shit.
That's all I'm saying. Is like we can make this happen if we unify. If we do this together, we can fix this.
That shit gonna turn.
He'll understand.
No, we can fix this.
That shit gonna turn into the Broken Pencil Booking Company Pro Wrestling Podcast, radio show, and creative team infused with hip hop.
That's all I'm saying. Like let us help me help you.
BPBC WWE Raw.
But I mean, dead ass. You gotta go in there and you gotta have your numbers together. You gotta say this percentage of your roster is, African American or people of color or international descent. We have this many people under the age of 30. We're trying to aim at this demographic, 18 to 49, but at the same time, there is an unrepresented demographic within that 18 to 49. I am going to target them.
Right.
And still, and by the way, give a fuck about your petty. Shouts out to Chris Jericho, the demo god.
Right. I mean, even in AEW, like I'll show you how to attack that demo that you're not getting, because right now you're
not getting it. You're not hitting that. Everybody, AEW is the rebel. AEW soundly comes in. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say they're mastering like the professional gamers of that demographic. But the hip hop community that watches wrestling is obviously ignored in a lot of things that go on.
So a few years back, people were talking about the melding of hip hop and wrestling, and when I say a few, I mean like 15 to 18. When like Hunter was wrestling heavy, and they asked him about how hip hop and wrestling meld together, and he was like, hip hop's great. I'm a heavy metal man, and he was talking about that. And so heavy metal has always been synonymous with wrestling. Heavy metal is also synonymous, ironically, with white people. And it's also synonymous with the young group, that 18 to 39. Like, heavy metal is just this driving. It's the reason why Drowning Pool can turn on. If you hear bodies, you're going to think ECW. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There's nothing from hip-hop that's been synonymous enough with wrestling to make people remember. Now,
That,
lately,
I beg to differ. There's one.
I'm about to say my caveat. 3-6 Mafia and Mark Henry's entrance music is one of the things that stands out.
That's one.
But
That's not the one I'm thinking about, though.
Which one are you thinking about?
John Cena?
Yes, sir.
I would go further. Is the fact that you don't have someone in-house that can point you in the right direction of songs that make sense. We've been saying for years after we read it, that Lil Scrappy's Money in the Bank should be the theme music for a Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
I don't understand how it wasn't. The year it dropped.
Because 50 wanted too much money.
That number one, two.
But then 50 let I Get Money be played when Floyd came out there.
Because that was a whole different.
It was a one-off, and 50 okayed it.
Yeah, I mean, but the write-off of do you understand the packages that could have been built off of Money in the Bank?
Listen, I know nothing about video production. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, you give me Lil Scrappy Money in the Bank, and I'm gonna show you some video packages that will rival like somebody dying in WWE.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like I would even take I Get Money in that situation for Money in the Bank. But of course, Scrappy has the song. No one has come to a compromise to where that song would be used. And it's like, is it because everybody there does it? No, I don't. They're in Stamford, Connecticut. Let's just be for real. They're in Stamford fucking Connecticut. So how many people are you having that come in and out of that place that have the wealth of hip hop knowledge, as well as, marketing background, as well as a passion to actually know the business and connect all of those dots? It's a lot.
I would say maybe 3.
Well, here's what's
probably work in a mailroom.
Here's what's crazy. 50. So that album, that second Scrappy album, was a joint collaboration between what was Lil Jon's label?
Trillville.
No, not Trillville. It was Lil Jon had a label.
I mean, Headbusters.
No, not that. Not Headbusters.
What the fuck was it? BME.
BME. It was a
BME.
It was a BME and G Unit collaborative album, similar to Rick Ross's album where he was on Maybach Music and was being distributed through. French Montana was Maybach Music and Bad Boy together. So it was a. I didn't know that. Yeah, it was that second album was a collaborative effort. The person who could have easily walked that into Vince McMahon's office or into WWE offices is Dave House. Because Dave was working directly with 50 at Interscope and for G Unit during that campaign. He was responsible for that song getting radio. If anybody could have done it, especially since he's a wrestling fan, Dave could have done that. And I hope Dave listens to this because he gonna be like, damn, I missed this one.
And you know what's funny about that is he probably only missed it because it was probably such an outlandish asking price in the first place. Well, when you do business with Vince, you gotta understand Vince been getting money.
So when a billionaire calls, the price goes up. So I ain't gonna lie.
Vince been getting money. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna try to get as much as he can for as cheap as possible.
So think about this too, though. So you're talking about Triple H says he's a metal guy, right? And
yeah, that's why Lemmy did. But he was cool with Lemmy. That's why Lemmy did that.
Lemmy's his guy. So, but check this. Rest in peace, Lemmy. Check this though. Who does Shane's music?
Who is that?
Naughty by Nature. Who does
I did not know that was Shane.
Who does Stephanie's music?
Lil Kim.
Salt and Pepper.
Oh, is that who it is?
Yeah.
Is that who did I'm all grown up?
Yep.
Who did Lil Kim do interest music for?
She might have did a song on one of the albums, but it wasn't anybody's particular theme music I not know of.
No. Who's fucking interest music? Is it fucking Trish Stratus?
Was that?
I can't remember right now, but yeah, Lil Kim has done interest music for
Trish Stratus. It was Trish Stratus.
See,
yeah. So
embedded in the memory, and then Silk the Shocker for MVP, and he just changed that theme up.
So all that, like there's those are heavyweights. 3-6, Naughty by Nature, Lil Kim, Salt and Pepper, Silk the Shocker, all multi-platinum stars.
So Shane would actually be the closest to hip hop culture as far as on the corporate brass side, but he's 50.
He's a first generation hip hopper.
Connection is only going to take it so far.
But I'm saying first generation hip hop, yes, and he's into sneaker culture. But as we do know, hip hop culture evolves quickly.
Yes.
So there are certain things.
Some ain't hot no more.
Like they obviously would know Drake because he's, doing numbers. But are you up on, the other possibilities that would probably grow the brand? And a lot of these new rap cats, my age and younger, are all wrestling fans. They grew up on this. They grew up in the Attitude Era.
Well, not for nothing. No one in that younger demo knows Naughty by Nature or Salt and Pepper as being the people that do their theme songs unless they hit the Google.
That part.
True.
So, at any rate.
People knew 3-6, though.
You got it.
Yeah.
Everybody's single nowadays. Everybody's single nowadays sounds like old 3-6. So, yeah, they know.
Yeah. All right.
As long as you got all them hi-hats and them synths in there, you're going to make a wrestling intro.
Let's go back to this card, though. Fiend versus Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. No holds barred triple threat for the World Wrestling Federation. Well, WWE.
Yeah.
We went old school, so I was taking it back for a second for the WWE Universal Championship. And Fiend's your champion. Petty, tell him who ain't gonna win. Take your time.
Braun Strowman for sure. I know Braun Strowman is not going to win.
He's definitely not going to win.
But I couldn't tell you who's going to win between Roman and Fiend. It's a 50-50 split. I was all in on Roman coming back and grabbing his belt and be like, this is mine. But that may not be what happens because it's Fiend.
Go with your first mind. Go with your first mind because I feel like...
Wait, no. Let me do this. With WWE just a sound understanding of how WWE books, Roman Reigns walks out of there with his belt. Fiend don't win.
Oh.
Fiend and Braun Strowman lose.
God.
Yeah.
As much as we both, I think actually we all three, this is unanimous on this one, that we think Roman Reigns is walking out. But man, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Roman pins Strowman, and then the Fiend chases for the rest of the year in a de facto face roll.
Are you kidding me? Are you taking a hot steamy shit on the Fiend yet again? Are you kidding me?
I mean,
I told you.
He's a transitional champion. That's what he is.
I told you. They went ahead and decided that they were going to go with their original plans from what was supposed to be WrestleMania this year. And yeah, like no. You know what? This is how we get the no.
I know you to realize that's it. Okay, Rob, I'm gonna give you the floor, fam.
Oh man, no.
I already told you how this was gonna go. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I can't put myself in a situation to
we gonna win that bitch fight. Okay, we got fucked out of it, but the boss man say he want to see the big dog fight the old man, and it's gonna happen. God damn it!
Look, what did we hear? What did we hear and say? Goldberg made his comments. I called it a work because it was too vague. You call Roman Reigns a joke, but you don't say what he's a joke about. So I've called that a work, and then Goldberg, in the midst of trying to defend AEW defection rumors, gave the details to his contract. He is signed through 2022 with 2 matches a year. He's done his 2 for 2020. He's ruined the year already.
Right. So guess what?
He went over on the Fiend, and then he put Braun Strowman over. He's coming back for one reason and one reason only: Roman Reigns. You're going to get straight shooting Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. My guess would be Royal Rumble. Or
worse, Goldberg wins the Royal Rumble.
That was I was about to say. Good God, please, please, God, no.
So Swab, you feel that pain you feel right now? That's the pain I felt right before I hit those buzzers like 2 minutes ago. It's the exact same feeling.
I totally understand. I ain't with it.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Oh man,
he can't win the Royal Rumble unless he enters at 30,
and he will enter at 30 unannounced. Everybody.
Has anybody ever won at 30?
That's a good Google question.
I wonder. I know 29 for sure.
30, haven't they?
29 for sure.
Didn't he win at 30?
Or did Cena come back at 30?
Yeah, Cena did come back at. No, was it 30?
Hold on.
I don't know.
It's actually,
it was random as shit.
My trivia is fucked up right now. My leading candidates are like Triple H in
I got
2016
Cena for some reason, and I just remember him coming back.
Yeah, Cena was like what 08?
When that dude came back and he was the size of the Titantron in Madison Square Garden.
Jeez, bro. Yeah, that part.
Right. I'm like, why is he?
All right. So winners at 30. This is courtesy of ProWrestling.fandom.com.
Okay.
In 2007, Undertaker.
Okay, that makes sense.
2008
That does make sense.
was Cena.
2000 what?
8.
Oh, so back-to-back years, 31.
Yep.
You were right.
2016 was Triple H.
Hit the bell. I was right twice.
Yes, sir.
Ding, ding.
And that was it. Much to my surprise, 29 has only won twice. 29 was 2010 with Edge.
And then when like number 18 has the most wins.
29 was also Brock Lesnar in 03. Let's see, it's 24, 1, 2. 24 was twice. You said 18?
Yeah, I think 18 has the most Royal Rumble winners.
Let's see here. One says 2 for 19. Was 1 for 18.
Was only one?
I think so. I think 19 and 24 are tied.
I could have swore like Good Try Terry used to win from number 18.
Nah, 20.
Year.
It's funny that you should mention him. It's 24, and Good Try Terry was the first to win at 24.
Okay, then that's what it is then.
Okay, so Good Try Terry, Stone Cold, and The Rock were all 24s, and they won. And so yeah, so 24 is the winner. 24 had 3 winners at to go over. Good, that's good conversation there. I like that. One more match for this I'm not in support of Goldberg winning the Royal Rumble though, under any circumstances. Man, I'm so with you. Don't fucking do this to us. We don't deserve this. I mean, we're only a small sample size of what the universe would be, but did you hear the disdain? The only person who was laughing was Petty Messiah, and that was more maniacal, like that of like Bob's Burgers or some shit. Like there's no way, there's no way that this shit is like fashionable for us to be okay with. Like no. I mean, look, he signed through 2022, 2 matches a year. He's gonna get at least 2 with Roman, unless the Royal Rumble is one of them. That part, or he gets his title match against Roman at the Royal Rumble, and the Fiend causes it not to come to fruition. And then his second match is WrestleMania against the Fiend, which of course the Fiend gets his win back. I already booked it. So here's what happens. And this is me. Roman wins Sunday. Goldberg comes out and gets in his face. They fight at the next pay-per-view. He's already burnt up his 2 for this year. He's not gonna give an extra free one. He ain't got rollover matches. I still say you don't see Goldberg again until 2021, just because, I mean, yes, you have the Thunderdome aspect, but I don't think you can really cash in. People like Goldberg and Brock Lesnar, I don't think you see until 2021 to where you can put people inside of a building instead of having them there virtually. I'm certain you won't see Brock Lesnar until then. But yeah, and honestly, I'm as much as I like that idea, I'd like to be along the lines that we don't see Goldberg for the same reasons for that time frame. As much as I piss on Goldberg's name, like there's still in someone's eyes in Stanford, there's still name value, and if there's name value, you're not going to burn that currency in this climate. In these trying times. So here's the thing that I look at when we look at Goldberg. I felt like
two things could happen at the end of this match on Sunday. And I said it in the text thread. I'll say it today. A big albino gorilla is going to come out at the end of this three-way match. and when he comes out, there's going to be a portly man next to him.
a portly hairless man?
A portly hairless man who we call
Jesus, bro.
The God MC.
And he's going to say, my client, Brock Lesnar. Because the Thunderdome has to have somebody in it for people to really buy into it.
Bruh, if they have Lesnar hop brands for the second time in a year, only to have yet another feud with Roman Reigns, I'm going to just cut that shit off.
Like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done,
I'm going to just cut it off.
Keep supporting this shit.
We just going to find...
The only person who needs a match with Brock Lesnar right now is Bobby Lashley. That's it. That's all. He is next in line.
That's all I want to see.
If you're not working towards Lesnar and Lashley, fuck all your creative.
NXT UK is going to fuck around and get weekly coverage on the BPBC.
Like, fuck your whole creative outlook. If that's not what you're working towards, I don't give a damn what you're doing.
Give a damn what you're doing.
At all. I don't want to see it. But we call this with Roman and Goldberg a logical step. Like, Roman came back. I thought Roman would have to go through Goldberg to end up champion, and they're doing it the other way around. He's going to end up champion and then go through Goldberg.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But that was the way it was before. Goldberg was champ. That's right. I forgot all about that
part.
All right. So on the last match of the card so far, because we still have SmackDown on Friday, Keith Lee versus Randy Orton in the singles match. Petty, tell him who ain't going to
win. Neither of them is going to win. This is going to end in like a double count out or something.
Great call. Great call. I absolutely agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more on this.
Too early to beat Keith Lee, too soon to derail Randy Orton's momentum.
Same shit that happened on Raw is going to be the same shit that happened at this pay-per-view. Drew McIntyre is coming to get retribution. It's probably going to get punted yet again.
It's going to be something, like a ref going to be knocked out or something's going to happen where like there's no declarative winner.
You're going to get the retribution reveal.
During this match?
Yep.
What you mean, Dio Madden and the Forgotten Sons?
Dio Madden, Dijakovic, and whoever else is in the group, they're going to jump everybody, and then you get
No, we still got the bet going. The Forgotten Sons are in retribution.
So Petty, you have missed a few episodes. I'm glad we're done with your segment, but you've missed a few episodes. We've been missing you for this very reason. Who is in retribution?
Right. Who is in Girl and Guy and Tie? The members of Girl and Guy and Tie are?
What is that girl's name? I know one of them. It's a little short, cute. I think she's Laotian and black or Filipino and black chick. She fought Chick Flair.
I know you're talking about the one that's supposed to be from Brazil.
I don't know if she's from Brazil or not. Like it was whoever she is, she's in Girl and Guy and Tie. She was the short chick on the left side of the screen. Dio Madden is in Girl and Guy and Tie.
Yeah, we pretty much figured that out Monday.
I don't think Dominic Dijakovic is permanently in Guy and Tie, but they needed somebody to pick up Ray and throw him up in the air. So,
nah.
He throw him like a dart.
He in it.
Damn it, Kevin Nash. You asshole. You started this.
Every time that happens, I just hear Zabisco in my head, fam. Just
good Lord.
Dude, first and foremost, there was no reason for them to lawn dart Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is a grown, aging man. You should not be lawn darting him into the sides and stuff anymore.
What did he do?
His son's wrestling now. You said what?
Like, what did he do to deserve this?
Are you talking about?
He didn't do anything.
I'm sorry. Are you talking about Caden Carter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She's in there, and she wasn't always in there because when they were in the performance center, she was in the crowd most of the time. But they put her in Retribution. So the last time you saw Retribution, that's at least three of the people you saw. You saw Dijakovic, Die Hard, you saw Dio Madden, and you saw her. There's some extremely large white dude that's not Dijakovic?
Lars Sullivan.
I feel like for some reason, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know what they say. If you want to hide something, put it right in front of your face. We talked about this on last week's episode about the conference call with Triple H for SummerSlam, where someone had made mention about Lars Sullivan, and he all but swept that conversation under the rug.
That part.
And the whole thing with me with Lars is, if he's wearing black, then he fits the build of that big white guy that was in the ring on Monday.
So it was, and pretty much, like, I thought they were gonna put the big dude. First and foremost, how messed up is it that you set over 7 feet tall, you swole up, and you basically have been relegated and I guess promoted to the doorman for Raw Underground?
So yeah, who is that dude?
Think about it.
He's a trainee at the Performance
He's a
Center.
development of talent. Yeah.
And he was the guy who was the large ninja. That's the same guy.
Ninja.
Okay.
But he's a
he was
Performance Center guy.
Who was the guy that they brought in as a bald head guy? I think he came from ROH. Real good on the mic, but they brought him in as a manager.
Stokely Carmichael.
Yes.
No, that's Stokely Carmichael. It's Stokely Carmichael.
I know what you're talking about.
Stokely Hathaway, fool.
Oh, there you go. You know,
Malcolm. I think his name is what?
Honestly,
What's his name? Malcolm Jenkins.
Two Soul Great.
him and Stokely from damn it.
Malcolm Bivens is his name now.
Okay,
Mike-
Malcolm Bivens.
Malcolm
Not
Bivens.
Malcolm Bivens.
That's funny because I said Michael Bivens. Like Malcolm Bivens was managing him.
Yeah,
And
if it ain't Stokely Carmichael or Stokely for mint condition, then I mean,
Right.
he gonna fall, fam.
So that's the thing. Like when we look at Retribution, initially it was just a bunch of the smaller people from NXT, people that they have to throw around. Some of the people you see on Raw Underground were actually in Retribution at first. But now that they're solidifying who Retribution will be, Retribution needs a couple people that are over 6 feet tall. So
They're all going to be over 6 feet tall except for the women.
right. Hell, I thought I saw Chick Flair last week.
No,
Jeez, bro, that would be fucking hilarious. Like Chick Flair's working as an extra.
She's like, I'll come to work, but I'm not getting on the camera.
It's beneath me.
If there were a carousel of top tier talent in Retribution, fam, until the big reveal, bro, that would be hilarious for real.
It would be. I don't see why it's not. Like, honestly, to tell you the truth, because everybody got to get a check. Honestly, one of them people was Oos.
It's a work in progress. Now, see, that brings up.
One of them people.
Hey, one of them is hurt. One of them is hurt, and the other one ain't got nothing to do. You right.
One of them people is Oos, and they know it's Oos because you can see the way he hit people. I'm like, dog, that's Oos.
But dead ass, that brings us to our next situation. Like, people are, and after SummerSlam, have been up in arms saying that Roman is the leader of Retribution.
Well,
As he should be.
Well, no, there's also been word that Miz is the leader of Retribution.
As he also should be.
And I have put my name in the hat and said my choice, who should be the leader of Retribution, and with good reason, Sami Zayn.
So Sami is the mouthpiece.
As he will be.
Sammy's a mouthpiece. I wouldn't be surprised if we've actually seen him under the hood a couple times too.
No, you ain't seen it.
Sammy's the mouthpiece.
He's purposely not been there.
He was
But
stripped of the Intercontinental Championship.
When they do the reveal, he will be there.
So
I'm with Suave.
So here's the clues. So Sammy was stripped of the Intercontinental Championship, like Suave just said. Miz came out late as fuck last Friday.
Like he was backstage getting some ass or something. Like, hey, what happened? Hey guys.
Wait, Maurice. Wait, Maurice. Hold on. They about to go off. They about to fade to black. Let me go out there real quick.
Wait. And here's how I know that was intentional. Because when Morrison was trying to get his attention, he was like, "What? Oh yeah, high five."
Oh yeah, high five.
And then,
like, weren't you out here the whole time, fam? Yeah, you know.
But the camera conveniently zoomed in on Miz as he ran to the ring. He was the obvious last person from the back.
That they zoomed in on him. That wasn't an accident at all.
And then it's an empty Easter egg.
Then you have Roman's new gear: destroy everything and leave.
wreck everything and
Or
leave.
wreck everything and leave. Yeah.
Which is exactly what Retribution has been doing.
So we love this table of, it's like we're detectives and we have pictures on the wall.
Right.
Circling
And
who the
honestly,
kingpins could
all
be.
of us could possibly be wrong. It could just be some stupid shit that they don't have any payoff at the end of it, which is what I really believe.
If they don't, it's a waste.
I mean, because the whole thing is like it's a work in progress with them. They don't really know.
It seems like a good idea to have a bunch of hooded individuals fuck up some shit one week, and then
feels
people
like they're
start paying attention to it.
Right. Feels like they're figuring it out as they go along type situation.
You know, it'd be really cool. What if they were big enough to actually fight people?
Jesus.
You're out of control, fam.
The fucking lollipop gills running muck around here.
Right. Like, here's the thing. I don't fear Retribution
Aces
because
and 5'8".
I'm bigger than Retribution. Like, I don't fear you, but get out of here.
What if Sarah Logan's Retribution?
No, no. What is she? If she, do you really think they would let her play pregnant?
Who?
Sarah Logan.
Oh no, if she's pregnant, she's definitely not in Retribution. But I'm just saying,
she's in Retribution
because of the talent cuts. Like, you got to look at the women who were cut during the latest round of
she announced pregnancy.
Well, in that case, just go ahead and remove her. It's just it's a happy mention. Hey, how you doing? Best of luck with your ongoing pregnancy. Wish you the best of health and so forth and so on.
Hey, even though we didn't shit on this other chick that got pregnant in the middle of the COVID, you're fired. But thank you. Thank you, independent contract.
The money that the other lady is bringing in far usurps anything else going on.
That's not money. That's an investment.
To the fact that you come out and get your ass whooped by a said woman.
She was making more money and getting paid more money, so her situation is far different. You got Sarah Logan, I believe, may have become impregnated after being released.
Right. Yes, right. I believe. Yeah. I would like to think that that's the case. I mean, of course, we don't know. We weren't there, but still. While we got a few.
Killian.
Hold on, we got a few more minutes here before we need to shut this down. Let me run down these results for Impact Emergence Week 2. Eddie Edwards had his open challenge for the the Impact Championship, and this week he took on RVD with Katie Forbes. First of all, not to be trying to talk about somebody else's woman on TV or anything like that in real life, but man, Katie Forbes is out here twerking at a professional level on television.
Jesus Christ, man.
You really should see her. She's a piece of work. Eddie Edwards defeats RVD. Crazy Steve and Johnny Swinger on a blindfold match. Crazy Steve wins in like 5 seconds. I was part of Wrestle House. We also had the first ever women's 30-minute Iron Man match for the Impact Women's Championship with Deanna Purrazzo beating Jordan Grace in a classic. Brian Myers got his first Impact win against Willie Mack. And I believe Heath is going to team with Rhino next week on Impact. And then you had a couple of more of another Wrestle House match. But overall, Impact had a very entertaining show. I go out of your way to see that 30-minute women Iron Man match. That was definitely a classic. One of the best matches that Impact has put on, man or woman, in the last few years. What else do we have on this agenda? Oh, so we got 2 major defections for NWA. One for sure. We had questions about this when we watched NXT last night, as the returning Wade Barrett shows up on NXT television. He's actually on the NXT roster page. So welcome back to the E, Wade Barrett. The other one is
told you it wasn't just a one-off.
Nah, not with the name Barrett. If it was gonna be a one-off, it would have been under Stu Bennett. And they did not go that route.
And then he's already confirmed for next week's episode of NXT.
And he was going down his title history on NXT last night too, which is something that you will never see for someone on a one-off. And he was outstanding on the stick too. Outstanding.
Awesome.
Damn you. On the other one, All Out. We don't have a full card yet. And next week's episode, we'll be talking more about that in detail because All Out is a week from this coming Saturday. NWA Women's Champion Thunder Rosa has been confirmed to go against Hikaru Shida at All Out for this year. And it's crazy because she's probably coming with the NWA Women's World Title in tow. So that should be very interesting to see that. Considering, I mean, at this point, are we back to NWA like it was in '89? I remember Ole Anderson saying like it was a conglomerate of multiple organizations which had all been gobbled up by WWF. So if you're the champion of an organization that's a conglomerate of multiple organizations and there are no organizations left, what are you really the champion of? So it seems like we're back to that once again. Unfortunately, simply because of, bad decisions with management and prior life, if you will. I do wish Billy Corgan the best though, because I mean he came into this with all the fandom and all the money that he could, and he had a good product. And I just wanted to come back because it's more employment for people that are out there in this field. That said, I believe that runs down our agenda. Is there anything else that we need to talk about?
Off the top of my head,
there's one more. There's one more thing, and that we can make this real brief.
Okay.
Talking Smack is back.
Yeah, there's that.
So if we can land this plane in 3 minutes or less, it would be great. Talking Smack is back. Renee Young naturally is out of the picture. Charlie Caruso is one of the hosts. The other host is supposed to be Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods did not know that he was the host of this show, so they bring in The Miz as an emergency replacement for him. Guest this week or last week was Big E. And that conversation turned real quick. Or we like to think that it turned real quick as it relates to Big E defending the idea that Kofi was treated wrongly as it relates to his world title run and not being able to get a rematch simply because of how he was beaten handily by Brock Lesnar. Suave.
So, okay. So it turned into a thing. People kind of started throwing darts at Miz for the way he phrased some of his questions on Talking Smack when talking to Big E in reference to Kofi and how far and fast he fell out of the world title picture, why Big E isn't being taken more seriously, and then his persona, and he doesn't think he's serious enough, which Big E handled very well, had all the correct answers, all the correct responses. I think people looked at it and didn't realize that this was, kind of a work. Because I looked at it when I saw the article that brought this to our attention and was like, okay, either this is a tone-deaf work or this is a tone-deaf shoot. If it's a tone-deaf work, it's brilliant and it probably should be on television immediately. If it's a tone-deaf shoot, then it's like, okay, can you really blame Miz for too much of what, he thinks? I mean, you got to look at where he's from. He's been on television, for the last 20 years? Like, he's just so far removed from understanding that that is what it is. And then some of his points that he made about, if you just work hard, obviously that's not the case because he's been working hard for quite some time and he never got another shot at being champion, regardless of how many media dates he makes or how many outside projects he has. He's as famous away from WWE as he is on WWE television right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's what led me to feel like it was more of a work. But the internet caught wind of it and got really, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say sensitive, but they really were sensitive to the conversation and the way it was happening. So the term white privilege got thrown around, the term just a lot of things about racial insensitivity. I don't necessarily think The Miz is a racist. I don't even think it was a situation of white privilege. I thought he was just tone deaf.
Right.
Just completely tone deaf. Like I really feel like it's a work. I feel like it was a ploy to get a more serious reaction from Big E. Big E didn't take the bait, which, I mean, kudos to him for that.
And that's one reason why I don't want to spend too much time on it, is because we can watch this week and see how, or in the next week for that matter, to see how this turns out before we go further for a deeper dive. Because the conversation is now being polarizing as it relates to this, simply because of what's going on in society right now, what's going on in Wisconsin right now, the NBA. And if this is coming into pro wrestling on a real level, shame on Miz. But again, let's let it sit, let's let it simmer and see where it goes from here.
Once I watched Talking Smack for myself to see the actual presentation, it's like, this doesn't seem like anything
out of line.
There's no malice intended with this. It's just, it's a conversation that's happening, and he actually sounds like the word is really naive, but I don't want it to sound like he's unknowledgeable.
He's naive. Like, he's naive yet sincere at the same time, which is wild. That part. It seems like he doesn't know, but at the same time, he's trying to tell you what he did to get there, and thinks that you should do the exact same things that he did, regardless of color, because color doesn't matter. Which like again,
that formula is like, if you replicate this formula, good things will happen. It's like, no, it's predetermined, it's scripted, and people are chosen.
And that's my biggest thing, is like, anybody that says that Kofi didn't go for the quote unquote brass ring, like, what is a brass ring in an environment that has a predetermined finish, where everything is predetermined? What exactly does that look like? It's not like you go to your job and based on how much you do, how well your productivity turns out, that determines where your ranking is. This ain't that. This ain't that at all. Yeah. It's all a matter of
brown nosing.
Yeah, it's a matter of how relatable are you, how people gravitate towards you, as we saw with Daniel Bryan and with Kofi Kingston. And how much money can you make for the corporation based off of those things and the intangibles that they're looking for? The ability to communicate effectively, your willingness to travel, your willingness to say yes to any and everything. Like, that's one reason why we call Kung Fu Panda is because we feel that just from what we've seen, that's not because we're on the outside looking in. John Cena seems to be someone who has said, sure, I'll do it to everything, which is why people don't like him by and large. As far as like people in the demo, the 18 to 35 demo, they don't like him because he seems corny to them. But at the same time, Kung Fu Panda seems to be the person that says, hey, don't worry, I can do it. Choose me, versus being asked. He's going and saying,
that's kind of what it's choose me culture. Like, Seth goes to bat for the company, even when it's probably not in his best interest and it's not something they asked to do. He just kind of does it on, I guess, Kung Fu Panda / brown nosing. Like, him and Miz are two sides of the same coin. Like, Miz does all the media appearances. He is a air quotes WWE superstar the way they would like all of their superstars to be. They just don't look at him physically like, you're the guy that should be the champion. You're just a really good addition to this roster. Seth has all the talent in the ring, but he doesn't do the media stuff, but he goes to bat for the company on social platforms, even when it's probably not the best idea. And both of them are kind of like, on the same level. To be perfectly honest, they're not Cena level, they're not The Rock level. It's just there's a complete package that has to be put together, and someone has to choose you.
I choose you, baby.
That part.
You know what's funny about that? When we talk about Kofi at one point in time had the attention of the upper echelon of the WWE. By and large. It's the same thing as with an office job. It was politics. It's politics. That's all this is. Like, when you look at Miz knew how to play the game. Miz not only knew how to play the game before he got into the WWE, he knew how to play it once he settled in. You see what I'm saying?
I can dig it.
He started by saying that he was going to be in the WWE. Because at that time, pro wrestling, a lot of people only associated it with WWE and WCW, but WCW was on the back end when Miz got on Real World. And Miz was imitating The Rock. So they like, oh, he can cross breed. He's already on TV. Let's bring him on over here. And he knew what to do. Now you look at Kofi. Kofi was in the WWE. He was being pulled up. He was being pulled to the forefront. Then what happened? He got derailed.
I mean, which time though? I mean, because like he had like a few angles with Orton where he was at the top of the card, upper mid card. He was at the top of the card in the tag team scene when he was with Evan Bourne. Evan Bourne got suspended and didn't let go because he did some dumb shit while he was on suspension. And I mean,
they put him in a tag team with was he in a tag team with CM Punk?
Not that I remember.
Okay, so here's the thing: Kofi Kingston, when he put Orton through that table in Madison Square Garden, Kofi should have been given the belt then.
Nah, so there's another incident that goes further than that for me. Like the Madison Square Garden thing is one thing, but I remember it was 2013 on Monday Night Raw, just a random match in the third hour where he had a it was like a sneak pin. I want to say it was a roll up 1, 2, 3, and I think Randy beat him down briefly afterwards, but it was swept under the rug. It was like there was no mention of it the next week or nothing. In fact, I don't even think he was on TV the next week. So where they do that at?
Again, politics.
Yeah, I mean, well, of course we know that, but but we were saying that, you can't compare one man's plight when to another when color is obviously in factor here, because Big E went on records, talking about it didn't take you, you referring to Miz, 11 years to get your first opportunity. You've had multiple. You just haven't had any in a while. Miz's whole defense was, I can't tell you the last time I've had one. But Big E was like, but you've had them. It took Kofi 11 years to get one. So that's,
or even just high level matches. Like Kofi doesn't have a laundry list of really high level singles matches. He didn't get Daniel Bryan at a SummerSlam.
Not until Kofi Mania, and even that was him fighting in a cage.
But again, it was 11 years.
Yeah,
factual.
And it's Miz is going to be tone deaf in this situation, because Miz has been afforded.
No. Hold on. Don't overthink this. Don't overthink this. Again, what we were saying is, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's watch Talking Smack and SmackDown this week and see if it turns out that it is a work before we go too deep into detail as to what we think Miz's mind is at. Because it could be.
I think the presentation of what Miz is going to have as a character, even if it is in character, should be tone deaf. Because Miz is not going to understand 11 years.
I beg to.
Miz probably got hazed.
I beg to differ. He did. Wait. No, he did. Like he was out. He talks about all the time how he was shunned from locker rooms, how he had to dress like in the hallways or in the car because they wouldn't let him into the locker room. Like either way. I'm like I said, I'm with Suave. We should see how this plays out before we go too far into trying to crucify somebody for.
No, I ain't gonna crucify. I think it's being written that way. One thing I'll always give Miz, and even though I'm not a huge Miz fan, Miz understands the industry as it is right now. Miz understands the WWE as it is right now. Miz is more of a company man than even Kung Fu Panda. It doesn't come off the same. Because Miz, you know what I'm saying?
Equal sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't come off the same. Like Kung Fu Panda comes off like they've given me chance after chance after chance after chance after chance to do things. I was the chosen one by Triple H for the Authority. I turned on I was in the Shield.
Kung Fu Panda to me has nothing more to offer than what he can do in the ring. Maybe,
I won't say that.
Well, I mean,
it's because he hasn't shown carrying the company, but also having a mind of his own. So we don't know.
I mean, that's the thing. He's had 2 chances to do that though over the last 5 years, and he's in his 30s and has been in the industry for damn near 15 years.
Yeah, there's that.
I think you look
some people,
and this is me saying this to you because I know you. I think you look at it from your viewpoint of Kung Fu Panda as Kung Fu Panda. If I look at Seth Rollins as Seth Rollins, overall, he actually did do what they needed him to do. He fought with the names that you need to fight with. He fought with Brock Lesnar.
Again, that's in the ring. There's nothing else other than what's happening in the ring that's going good for him.
What you want him to do? Start a bunch of movies and then come back to the WWE?
Yeah, that's exactly what that's what everybody has done before. Miz, John Cena, and even Kofi for that matter. Appearances.
To a certain degree.
Huh?
But that came after the New Day.
No. Kofi was still doing the. Remember the show? There was a show that used to come on Saturday mornings that used to be. I want to say it was called Superstars. Where back in the,
I believe it was
back in the
wrestling challenge.
No. back in the 80s and 90s, Superstars was rival to Wrestling Challenge. Like you would have one on Saturdays, one on Sunday. But in the early 2000s, it was basically, the late 2000s, it was akin to Jacked and Metal, but for kids. So you had everybody that had colorful characters that was on there. Mick Foley was commissioner. You had the Usos on there with face paint. You had Kofi on there because he was high flying and exciting. You know what I'm saying? And then you had like there were events that were catered around that particular show. Those cats did those things. You would have never seen the Shield on that shit ever, because they were too high profile. B, they were too serious. You would have never seen the Shield on there. You would have seen the Big Show on there. Hell, JTG was on there. Post Shad.
I get it. I mean, I get it. I do get it. It's just,
So at any rate, I just don't think that like you would have never seen Seth Rollins on there, especially even coming out of either FCW or NXT. You would have never seen Seth on shows like that, simply because he probably would have felt it was beneath him. Because those shows are usually recorded during intermissions of live broadcasts or before the TV the hard cameras went on, the live cameras went on. I
don't think there was something that was made of a prereq for him. And that's because I feel like they set aside the belief that he was, and this is not my thought, but it's the way they carried him. It was like he was a cross between Shawn Michaels and Triple H themselves. You know what I'm saying?
But again, you're talking about like you're comparing in-ring work ethic.
Nope. I'm comparing treatment backstage.
For Seth?
Treatment backstage. For Seth. I mean, he never ended up on any of those shows. There's got to be a reason why. Everybody else is required to do a bunch of things. Or they volunteer to do those things. Like Cena would probably always show up and do something backstage, but that's just him.
He wasn't on those shows, and he was around.
And okay, so that means that if you were on those shows, then you were probably looked at as what, second tier?
Yep, lower mid card talent.
So if Seth was never asked to be on that show, what does that mean? They don't view him as lower tier. He was always going to be a main event.
No. That show wasn't around when he was there either. That show had long been canceled.
Right, but I mean, here's the thing: you not gonna see. You'll see Al Snow on Sunday Night Heat. You're not gonna really see anybody past the mid card on Sunday Night Heat, unless of course we trying to give them a push and give them some extra.
We saw some hell of a matches on Sunday Night Heat. We saw the Unmentionable versus fucking Regal. Week after week.
Yeah, but I mean that is one of those things where did he have a belt when he showed up?
No, but the IC belt was defended on Heat.
Well, I mean, because you got to have a belt to close out an hour of the show. You're only gonna have what, 3 matches? Maybe and some commercials.
I think we splitting hairs on just different eras. Some people just choose to only come to work and go home. Where you have a guy like Samoa Joe who's doing voiceover work all outside of WWE, which increases his value within WWE, which pretty much solidifies his future. It's like, okay, we're going to keep him because with all this stuff he's doing, one of these projects is going to pop and we're going to have a star on our hands. So We're going to keep him close to the chest. Seth doesn't really do that. Like Seth doesn't, from the things we see and hear from him, he doesn't strike you as a guy who has aspirations outside of wrestling as far as entertainment is concerned. He seems like he wants to come to work, wrestle, go home. Miz wants
Seth
to be.
Rollins is a consummate company man. So Seth Rollins is going to come to work, wrestle, and go home for about 15 years.
Miz wants
saying,
to be a full-fledged superstar on every level.
Right. Seth Rollins is going to end up being a producer.
Okay, so Seth wants to be Triple H, but minus the outside shit, Seth wants to be Triple H. Miz wants to be The Rock.
Period.
There you go. Hit the bell for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. You hit it right dead on. And if you want to be The Rock, you're going to do what the Miz is doing. And he's doing a great job at that shit. Like, I can't hate on him. Like, and if you want to be Triple H, you're going to stay close to the company. Triple H has been in like 1 or 2 outside films, but Triple H ain't just branched all the way out. He never will now. He's too invested.
Again, I don't really think that life was for him. Like he has the build to play a couple of specific roles, but it doesn't always translate personality wise. I don't want to say he's bland. It's just people translate.
He's Triple H. He's so good at being Hunter Hearst Helmsley that I can't believe him if he's anything else. Hunter Hearst Helmsley as a Viking. Okay, maybe I'll buy that. Hunter Hearst Helmsley as a cop.
It's Conan. I'm
not buying that.
He's supposed to play Conan. He can play the lead in Thundercats. Those are roles. He could have played Thor.
He could have.
Those are things earmarked for him. Same thing with Steve Austin. Like Steve Austin has done movies. I like The Condemned. It's one of my personal favorites from WWE.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is dropped on an island where he has to fight other prisoners.
But part.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
But to me, I think he's better for regular television where he can just be himself.
Right.
And that's where he's been most successful.
Yeah, absolutely, and more so as a host, and just being that character that talks shit as a host. Because like I think honestly, I think his best TV role, hands down, has been Tough Enough.
That part.
You know, he's got those other shows on like CMTV and all the other stuff, like the outdoor stuff, the stuff he loves to do. But to me, he was no better in anything than he was on Tough Enough.
Because that's him, unfiltered, uncut, as himself, talking about the thing he's most passionate about.
Yep,
professional wrestling.
Passion is the key word there. There's passion. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this damn thing up, man. Petty Messiah, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you'll be here with us next week, and on our last week of that next Thursday is when we start on the Beast. How about that? Ring the bell and get some applause. Yeah,
time is always great. Time is always great.
Yeah, no doubt.
I come back for greatness.
So we'll see how this works out as the schedule goes up and shit next month. So we'll talk about that off the record. But at any rate, again, thank you for joining us, and let's see here. Fuck it, Swab, take us to the house.
Pencil pushers, heads up. Pencils down.
The Broken Pencil Booking Company, a pro wrestling podcast infused with hip hop. Available on all streaming platforms, including thebeastradio.com.